We've been seeing sugarcane trucks and these overloaded vehicles go down our highways, and we've certainly, everybody's noticed how different the highways become once those commodities are delivered or trucked or hauled to the different locations and what have you, because these trucks are all overloaded. They're heavier than what we actually allow on the highways. So our legislature, and actually in this case the sugarcane industry, wanted to actually up that load and actually haul greater loads than what we had. So the legislative actions came out, and they wanted us as a research group to look at that and say, okay, what's happening? And so we did, and we contracted with Louisiana Tech University, and they began a study on looking at just sugarcane trucks and what they do, what kind of damage they actually do. And when we found out that, you know, we charge $100 a year per truck for them to be able to haul an overloaded vehicle. A vehicle normally weighs 80,000 pounds. We allow that. They get a permit to go up to 100,000 pounds with the same truck, and in doing so, it puts over $5,500 per truck per year of damage to our roads. And so when you add that up over the years, that's an enormous amount of money. And so what we finally discovered was that, well, if we add a third axle to that, we actually save money. We don't damage our roadway system anymore, because when you start moving the loads out and you distribute the loads, then you're not doing near as much damage to your highway system. We looked at the greater 120,000 pound deal, and we saw that if we went even with this third axle with it, we would be doing even more, a little more damage than what we're actually doing today, or were doing at that time until we made the resolution. And so the state's laws are called revised statutes, and so the legislature modified one of the revised statutes, 387.7, and modified it to where it would be, that if a sugarcane farmer wanted to haul greater loads than 80,000 pounds, he had to put the third axle on there. It was a mandate, and so it's in law. And by doing that, though, he actually gets a tax incentive as well. Our job is to actually just put out the research and what it shows, and we did, and we put that to the legislator. The legislator decided to do the revised statute, not us. We didn't say, hey, you got to do that. But what we said, that if you continue on in this path, then you cause the department a whole lot more money, because the department has to maintain those roads, they have to rehabilitate them, and they have to reconstruct them at some point in time if they get so bad. The Superdome had just been built down in New Orleans, and we were traveling along that way with a group, and there was a civil engineering guy that was in the car with us, and I said, yeah, I'm planning on going into architecture, and that's what I want to do, and stuff. And he says, well, the better part of that is the structural part of all of that and stuff. So that sparked my interest right then and there, and so that's what I wanted to do. And I got to looking at the curriculums, and I noticed that architecture was going to take a lot longer time, and and architects, they're great folks and everything. It just takes a long time for them to get established and things. And so that engineering would be more of a probably quicker impact. One of the things in looking at the careers in civil engineering, when I did get to looking at that and decide on that career, is all the different facets of it. You have structural group, then you have transportation, which is filled with all different kinds. Today, our civil engineering has incorporated the environmental aspect, and environmental is I mean, it's crazy. You know, a lot of people are going into this environmental issue. People say, oh, you get bored with something and you go do something else. Well, it's not really being bored, it's just wanting to learn something new. You know, certainly if you're not happy in what you're doing, you need to get out and go find yourself and be happy in what you're doing. That's what you really need to do.